This is the EWN Podcast Network.
Hello, it's Cathy Worthington.
And Mary Elkins.
Welcome to Season 5 and our 5th year of the Late Boomers podcast.
We will be bringing you exciting new interviews with guests you won't want to miss.
Come along for our new journey.
We hope you enjoy Late Boomers.
Welcome to Late Boomers, our podcast guide to creating your third act with style, power, and impact. Hi, I'm Cathy Worthington.
And I'm Mary Elkins. Join us as we bring you conversations with successful entrepreneurs, entertainers, and people with vision who are making a difference in the world.
Everyone has a story, and we'll take you along for the ride on each interview, recounting the journey our guests have taken to get where they are, inspiring you to create your own path to success. Let's get started.
Hi, welcome to Late Boomers. We are back for Season 5. We went on a very brief vacation trip that we're going to talk about. I am Cathy Worthington.
And I am Mary Elkins, and we are so excited to be back with you again, our listeners and viewers. We missed you. So
We
Cathy
cannot,
has
we cannot believe we've put in all this time and we've got all these episodes recorded. I think we're 209 episodes into our
something like
podcast
that.
now. Yeah. And Mary,
Yes, and you've been with us the whole time, and we're really, really happy to have you here. It's like a party.
And if you are new listeners, go back and pick up some of the old episodes. You might find people that really inspire you. We ran a repeat episode with Ken Cragen, and we ran a repeat episode with Sekou Andrews. Don't miss those. They're right at the top of our list of episodes. Check them out. And then we're going to bring you
Absolutely.
all new guests this season.
We are, and we're excited to do that. But first, Cathy went on this fabulous trip, and I haven't heard about it yet, and I'd love to hear about it. Where did you go, Cathy? Tell everybody and tell me.
Okay. I flew to Barcelona, and I had 3 nights in Barcelona. A girlfriend of mine was joining me there, and we met up and had a fabulous little hotel called Cotton House. And we did the sites. We went to Sagrada Familia. We did the tour because I got the tickets ahead of time. We kept meeting people that went, oh my God, I didn't get tickets ahead, so I don't get to get in. So that's the thing in Barcelona.
You have to do that now when you travel. You have to get tickets to everything now. Otherwise, you either stand in a long line forever or you just don't get in.
Yeah, they don't
So
let
tell
you
us
in.
more.
We went to Park Güell the first day, and that is a garden city designed by Gaudi back in 1918, I think. He was working on it. And like during World War I, they were working on it. They bought a hillside. His sponsor, I forget the other guy's name, and then Gaudi was going to design it, and there were 60 plots planned out. There are going to be 60 private homes. So people think it's a park, but it was designed to be a city, which you learn when you take the tour, because you can't get into that park anymore without being on a tour with a guide and all that. So it's
what does it look
people.
like? Describe it.
It's terraced up the hill, and he built these incredible roadways that are carvings and Gaudi it looks like stalactites and stalagmites, and the columns holding up the roadway look like trees, and it's amazing. And it was meant
Did you
for
take
the
a lot of pictures?
Oh yeah, and video clips, and I took so much. I have like gazillions pictures. You can follow me on Instagram and you can see a few of them. I haven't posted very much, but the top roadway was supposed to be for the horses and carriages. And then underneath is the pedestrians. And a certain area he did very, very ornate ceiling with these amazing, huge sculpture things. And that was the marketplace. That was to be the marketplace. The story of it is, though, and there's a fabulous house that Gaudi lived in on site. So you see the Gaudi house
that he designed.
Yes, from the outside you see the house. They
It's
don't take anybody in. And he
and
lived
is it
there.
filled with tiles?
I don't know what it's filled with. You
Does
don't
it
get
have
to go in. But there's a lot of benches in the park that are like curvy benches, all ceramic tiles and designs. And it's an amazing place. The thing is, nobody bought the places, so it didn't catch on. Gowdy lived there, and the other guy, the sponsor guy, had a huge house, and he lived there. But the other plots never got sold, and they eventually made it into a park, I guess. But Gowdy used to walk from there to Sagrada Familia to work every day. He had his office because he was designing the cathedral at the time, so he needed to be across town. Very, very long walk from there, but that was, the time frame. And
how far would you
nowadays,
say it is?
I don't know. But the city didn't touch the hillside community in those days.
Mm.
The hillside community was separate. Now the city goes right up to it. The streets are like all attached practically to the park. So that was the beginning of our trip. We had a wonderful time in Barcelona. We hit the classic martini bar, Boadas, and we hit the famous seafood place, Botafumeiro. And we just had a wonderful 2.5 days. And then we got on our cruise ship in the Barcelona port. Barcelona is a huge port. And we were on Virgin Voyages. I never am going on any other cruise. I'm going to sound like a commercial for Virgin.
You
'Cause
are?
I never want to go on any other cruise because it's adults only. All the entertainment is for adults. All the branding and all the gourmet food is really great. There's not a
And
buffet
ice
on.
cream, right?
Fabulous homemade ice cream. They change the flavors every day. They make it on the ship. And oh my gosh, the food is so gourmet, and there's multiple restaurants that are all included in your tour. You just have to book reservations. But all the food's included, and the food is so gourmet. There's not a single buffet on the whole ship, which really I love. There's like
Wow.
food stations with people dishing up like pieces of avocado for your bagel and cream cheese and all these things, but there's different stations, but there's people working it. So no one's sticking their hand in and grabbing, you know, and putting bacteria on all the food, which is
Oh.
great. Well, I mean, a lot of people hate buffets. I hate buffets. But
Oh,
anyway,
well,
yeah.
on ships, they're different because everyone's piling up so much food, and you think, how much can any one person eat? And did they have,
Oh,
like, breakfast, pre-lunch, lunch, pre-dinner, dinner, and then the
I
midnight?
know, I know. I'm sure a lot of that was going on. We weren't by any means overeating, but I did eat a lot at breakfast because there was like an egg station, and there was bento boxes of fruit, and there were little chia
Oh,
pudding things, and there were, I would always get a plate of avocado and stuff for breakfast. So it was
yeah.
awesome.
Well, you have to tell our audience that Kathy is an avocado aficionado. She loves avocado,
Oh,
as
oh,
do I.
yes, yes, you'd be very happy on this ship. And
Yeah,
and
I
my
love
friend Lana that was traveling with me, she loves it too, so we would always have big piles of that, along with our eggs and whatever we were having. It was really, really fun. At night, the restaurants were to die for. There's an Italian one and a Mexican, upscale Mexican, and several more. There's a test kitchen that has the little tiny sample, 6 courses, 6 little tiny courses that are set.
Oh,
And like, if they bring a course that's smoked, there'd be a dome over it and they pull it off and the smoke comes out of the dome. And, it's very flashy, fun evening.
very flashy, yeah.
It's really
Yeah,
fun, like set courses. There's a couple of
and
restaurants in LA that do that too.
what kind of activities did they have?
Oh my gosh, everything you could imagine. But the main thing was the first day we were in Marseille. So we went
Oh,
to yeah, the very first day we left Barcelona in the evening. And in the morning, we were sitting in the port of Marseille, and we
isn't
had
that
signed.
amazing? It's like magic.
I know, and we had signed up for a tuk-tuk tour of Marseille. It turned out like you think there'd be tons of tuk-tuks because they use them in islands and in Asia, all over the place. But we asked our driver how many there were, and he said 3. In the whole
That's
city
it?
of Marseille, there are 3, and 2
Wow.
of them were for this tour. We met 2 other people that were going on the tour with us. We ended up hanging with these people the rest of the cruise because they were a blast. And there were 2 more people in another tuk-tuk, and they're little, like they're just golf carts with like an extra seat, like they're a long
So tell
golf
us
cart.
about Marseille.
Marseille is amazing because it's a Mediterranean seaport. It's also very industrial, so it's like not always a tourist destination per se. But when you get into the little streets like we did in the little tiny golf cart, you can see the little harbors and the little restaurants and the little places you wouldn't get into on a tour bus. So a lot of people like took a bus, and the bus brought us to the tuk-tuk, but we loved, and they took us to a chocolate factory for chocolate tasting. They had a tasting, and then of course we all bought some to bring home for gifts and stuff.
Oh,
But it
nice.
was really, really interesting. They took us to a soap place because Marseille is famous for soaps and chocolates.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Any special kind of soap or chocolate, a special fragrance or special
no,
taste?
in fact, I think the soap is not fragrant. They don't scent the
Oh.
soap. They're just famous for their soap.
Mm.
I brought you a little soap.
Oh, thank
You'll
you.
have a little soap
Oh,
later.
thank
I
you.
should have brought you chocolate. You would have rather had that, but I
No,
was
I like
bringing it.
soap.
I was bringing it for my daughter, so I just brought one thing of chocolate. How much
Oh,
stuff
your
can you put?
daughter
How much
Emma
stuff can
likes
you put?
chocolate
Yeah, how much stuff can you put in your luggage when you're traveling?
and in your carry-on.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah, this all had to
Yeah.
fit in the suitcase. And then we went the second day, we were in Cannes, where you have been, Mary, many times.
Many times. It's old home for me,
And it
old
was
home.
lovely. We weren't going to do a tour that day because Lana, my friend, had never been there. So we were just going to walk into the town and see it, show it to her. And we spotted this little choo-choo train. It had a little train looking engine, like a little steam engine, little gas operated thing with cars behind it. And Lana said,
Mm.
"Look, that looks like it's like a little city tour." So we kept walking up, and there they were selling tickets, and the thing was all loaded up. And we got like the last 2 seats, and we got on it and had an hour tour of Cannes and went up in the streets and went up to their Notre Dame. They have Notre Dame de Cannes, and it's
Mhm.
sitting on the hill, and the letters Cannes are on the hill like the Hollywood sign. There
Oh.
was also a Hollywood sign in Marseille that said Marseille. We always got pictures of the letters. You'd be right at home, Mary, because it's like Hollywood sign for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so what else did you see there?
And well,
And
then
did you
we
go shopping?
not really, but because of the little tour thing, we went all down the big shopping street that people, it's like Rodeo Drive, but it goes for blocks and blocks. I was glad we were on the little train because
Yeah.
I wouldn't have wanted to walk
Oh,
that whole shopping street.
yeah,
And that
it's a
all the
lot of walking.
designers, yeah, it's a lot. What we did was then after we got off the tour bus, we walked over to the sand where all the restaurants are on the beach. And we
Mhm.
found a restaurant on the beach and just sat in the restaurant and had a bottle of rosé and just watched the people because we were still full from breakfast from the ship. So we didn't need to order any lunch. We just had rosé and watched the waves, and we could see our ship sitting there, the mothership. It was great.
Mothership.
Let's
Oh,
take a
yeah, that's
break from my tour and you tell me what you were doing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't do half as an exciting vacation as you did, however.
But you
I went
did.
down to San I did. I went down to San Diego, and a friend of mine and I went to the Miramar Air Station, which is a marine air station, and we watched an air show, the biggest air show in the country. Oh my god, I have never seen anything like that. planes go straight up like that,
Mhm.
past where you can see them, and then they stall, and then they come back down and do twirls and loops, and it's astounding that people can actually do anything like that. And these are war maneuvers as well. They're training in case of something awful happening in the world where we have to send our military. But these people,
But
I don't know.
there weren't any accidents that day, right?
Oh, please. That would be
But
horrific.
it always makes the news when there's a big air show
I
and there's a
know.
big accident.
I know. Well,
Yeah,
the
I'm glad.
G-force of spinning down, and if you don't come out of your spin at the right time and level off the plane, yeah, there can be an accident. But I learned a lot of really fun things, like we saw the Blue Angels, and they're very famous for
Oh,
their
yeah.
maneuvers, and there's 6 planes, and I watched the first ever female Blue Angel up there. She was number 4, and they fly in these formations, sometimes 18 inches apart. Can you imagine they're flying at these high speeds, and they're flying
18
18 inches
inches?
18
How is
inches.
that even possible in space?
These people
In
are so well trained,
Try
they
to
can
drive
do
a
it.
car 18 inches from another car.
Oh,
That
I can't even
that freaks
park
me out when people.
next to a car 18 inches away.
But driving next to it,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
more, you can't.
absolutely. Well, all these people do, I understand, is watch the wings of the plane next to them, but they are in perfect formation of a V, like birds flying,
Yeah,
or
I've seen them fly
they
over. Yeah.
yeah, or
Because they do
diamonds.
flyovers for football games and things like that. So, and
Yeah,
for
yeah,
inaugurations and for, big things. They do
right, and
flyovers.
and it's interesting, their average age is usually around 30 something, so they aren't young, they've been training a long time, and,
Yeah, but
also
they're
too
young, relatively speaking, they don't have that much experience. I'm sure they
well,
have to have hours and hours of flying time to do it, but
hours and hours and
yeah.
hours. But I also learned something very interesting about the Marines and the air station there. The base there is, I think I actually took notes, and it is, I think it's a quarter or even a half of the air station. Half of the energy at the air base is all recyclable and solar and renewable energy. And the Marines are very involved in reclaiming water and protecting wildlife. You would think, oh, these are men who are big, strong fighting machines. There's a lot of women Marines, by the way. And these are people that are really stewards of the environment. And I thought, well, how interesting is that? And also,
Mhm.
they have an area there at the air show they did. They had a big, like a convention center area with technology where they actually are working with industry to improve the technology of the military. So
Fantastic.
yeah, it was really, really interesting, but I think the most fascinating part was watching these planes. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
astounding.
I've been to air shows before because
I
growing
never
up in
have.
Riverside, they have March Air Force Base there.
Yeah.
And there were air shows there when I was a kid and kind of grew up seeing some of that. But that's great. What else
Yeah.
did you do in San Diego?
That's pretty much it. We were going to go to, a wine tasting, but then, you know, we were tired. Yeah, that air show was like
You were trying to
12
do all
hours a
that.
day.
Oh, yeah. You can't do wine
Yeah.
tasting in the same day.
Yeah, and we
You didn't.
also, go ahead.
No.
Oh, we also, invited a friend of ours who I don't know if our listeners would remember the movie Officer and the Gentleman, but our friend wrote the script, and I'm not sure if he won an Academy Award or was nominated, but he has a new book out called An Officer and a Gentleman's Daughter, which is fiction, but it's fun, but it's kind of like a sequel in a way. So he came and with his wife, and that was just really, really fun because he had training in that area. And then, of course, one of the best things we did there was go and get that Foster's Freeze ice cream. It was so
Oh,
good.
you mean
You know,
like
the
a
swirly,
swirly
smoky
thing? Yeah, the
Yeah,
soft
with
soft serve.
chocolate.
Soft
Yeah,
serve.
soft serve. Yeah, it's different in every country, I think,
Oh,
in every city.
I bet my ice cream on Virgin Voyages could top that.
I
You would
bet it
love
could.
it. It's like
All
eating
right.
gelato. And
Tell
okay,
us.
back to the ship. Then we had a day at sea. And the one day at sea it was a little chilly, a little cloudy. So we wanted to lie out by the pool. It was kind of jacket weather. You had a bathing suit on, but you kind of needed a jacket and some pants
Oh,
over it. But it was really pleasant and we had a wonderful day. A lot of things, just being on the ship is really fun. And then we were the next day in Palma de Mallorca, which is
uh-huh.
a place that you're supposed to buy pearls. So I bought a pearl necklace. I have it
Kind of
on.
hard to see on your blue. Can you hold it up a little bit more?
Oh, I've got two necklaces on, so it's confusing. There it
Yeah, it
is.
is.
It's got two
Oh,
pearls.
pretty. Pretty,
Yeah, it's
pretty.
got two pearls
That
and,
black, right?
yeah, they're the black pearls, which come off like blue. So we
Well,
did find a pearl place, but we were on a tour where the bus took us and the guide walked the whole bus of people all up to the main cathedral there that's right on the harbor. So it's directly across from where the ship docks. They took us on a
mhm.
bus and then we walked miles and miles around this antique city and around the cathedral. I was really disappointed because the tour showed you the cathedral but didn't include tickets to go into the cathedral. So
Oh.
it was like, yeah, that was kind of a jip. I thought, why wouldn't it include tickets into the cathedral? But it did not. And we walked all
Mhm.
through the city, and then they were going to give us a pastry at this place. And I said, excuse me, I'd like to skip the pastry and go shop for pearls while you break for the pastry. So the guide took us over to a jewelry store that, of course, he's connected with because
Of course.
that's how they do tours.
Yeah.
They're connected with all these shops and stuff. And so he took us over there and went back and got the rest of the people after they had their pastries. And we had, therefore, less than a half an hour to shop. But I wanted to get something for my daughter, and it was just fun. It was
Did you
really,
get her a pearl or two?
yeah, I got her a necklace like this. I got her the
Uh,
same necklace.
I
'Cause
bet she loves
once
it.
I found one that she would wear, I thought, I'll just buy myself the same one because there wasn't really enough time to start trying on a bunch more. It was great.
Mm.
And
How's
always
your
we had,
Spanish? You were studying Spanish
well, don't
before you
forget,
left.
yeah, I was studying some Spanish. I used it a tiny bit. Most people, I don't have enough Spanish to carry on a conversation if someone doesn't know English, but I would always make an attempt to greet them and stuff in Spanish. Um, but
Like, where is
most
my suitcase and where is the hotel?
I know those things, but luckily I didn't lose my suitcase and I didn't lose the hotel. So there were a lot of things I didn't need, but I know you're doing Duolingo too. Duolingo is great. So
Yeah.
then the last stop on the tour, we had another day at sea, I think, in there. And then we went to Ibiza. And
Tell me about Ibiza. All the rock
Ibiza,
stars go there, and
I know, because
royalty. Princess
it's
Margaret used to have a house there, and Mick Jagger and others.
yeah, I know a lot of people apparently have places there, and it's known to be party central. So a lot of people go on the cruise for the purpose of going clubbing in Ibiza, which wasn't our thing. But we did have dinner on the ship that night, and then they were running shuttles from the port over next to the walled city. It was an antique walled city with a castle and everything. So we were really happy that
Oh,
we took the time because the other three people, we were hanging out with this other couple, and the other three people were all like, well, it's kind of late. Do we want to go? I said, we need to go into the city to say we were in Ibiza. We're going to go on a tour tomorrow during the day, but that's not going to take us there. So we walked up this big castle thing, and the street inside the castle is all little restaurants, and it was such a busy nightlife. And we didn't even get there
oh,
till after 10:30, and it was really cooking because the clubs don't even open till 12 or 1. And then the
midnight, you
DJs,
mean, or
oh yes.
midnight?
And
Wow.
the
So
DJ, the main clubs, there's two big clubs. One of the clubs always features this big DJ. And the season ended like right after we were there. The club season ends in Ibiza, and they were going to feature this DJ. Usually he doesn't come on till 6 a.m. because that's so no one will leave. And there's other
People sleep
stuff.
all day in the sun. What do they do? I mean, no.
People sleep all day in the sun? No. On that same day on the ship, people were partying on the ship in the pool, like dancing and drinking. And people, we were saying, how can they, like, they're not pacing themselves if they've got to be up all night. But those same people that liked partying in the pool were the ones, I'm sure, that went to the clubs and partied all night. And then the ship is pretty deserted in the morning. But then all the wonderful old fogies that want to go on the day trip in Ibiza, we were all there for breakfast bright and early
Are
because
you
we had,
calling yourself an old fogey?
well, I was in the walled city till like after midnight by the time we got back. But yeah, we were up early because we had a 4x4 tour. They crammed 5 people in the back, and I got the front seat, which was great. And we had crazy drivers. That our driver was the craziest because he's trying to put on a 4x4 show. So every time we got onto a dirt road, he would be like screeching around corners, and the people in the back are riding sideways, and they're all going, "Oh my God, oh my God!" They're like kind of complaining, but the driver's loving it because he's putting on a show. He's a youngish guy, and there were like 7 vehicles that all went together. And then you would stop someplace and you'd all walk out to the point. It was a tour of all the coves. Well, Ibiza is just stunningly beautiful. There are like mesas, and there are rocks offshore. There are beautiful coves, and the waves are crashing in these tiny little coves. And then there's a cove that has a bunch of fancy houses. We went past a lot of gated estates that you can't see into at all. You can't tell who's who or where they are. It's very private. I could see why major stars would like it because they can arrive by boat and be taken by a little vehicle up to their house and just be private if they want to.
Yeah.
Very interesting place. I'm glad I went. I don't know if I would need to go back because I feel like I saw it. But
Would you
for
go back to any of the places?
Oh, well, probably all of them. If the ship itinerary overlapped, I will definitely go on the cruise line again. It was really, really a good experience. The cruise
Did they
line.
have a lot of great entertainment on the cruise?
Yes, every night we would sit in the bars and listen to these groups, and they would alternate which group was playing which set at which time. So you'd usually end up, if you were like me and checking it out every night, you'd end up seeing one group like 3 times. Then you'd see another group 2 or 3 times, and then you'd see another solo singer who would do tracks with his feet and accompany himself. And they were there's the entertainment is exceptional. Everybody's good. They're just like they're all different types of groups and different types of music. And the diva that travels is fabulous. It's a drag queen. She calls herself the diva. She also calls herself a woman named Carlos. She tells you her name is Carlos.
It's like Johnny Cash, a boy named Sue, a woman named Carlos.
She's charming. And she does a fantastic show called Around the World in 80 Minutes with the Diva. Also, when you play bingo on the ship in a great big showroom, you buy the cards ahead of time. She hosts it, and
Do
she
they have
is
gambling?
crazy. Oh, they have a casino. We never went in the casino, but we walked through it constantly. They put it right where you have to walk through it to get anywhere.
Virgin Airlines ought to sponsor this episode, or excuse me, Virgin.
No,
Ship.
Virgin Voyages.
Virgin Voyage.
Yeah,
Virgin.
I know Virgin Voyages. I know we need them for a sponsor.
Yeah,
but yeah. You can't have a better vacation than on Virgin Voyages. I'm just saying it. And they're not paying me to say that, but maybe they will soon.
Yeah, right. They should. Well, it sounds like you had a fabulous time. Just great.
Yeah. I mean, I look tired. I'm still tired, but I'm glad I'm back, and we're going to start. We're going to bring you some interviews in our next episodes. It won't be us yakking our heads off. It will be more organized like we usually are, and good interviews with fun people. And yeah, we'll see what happens in the
Yeah.
upcoming weeks.
It's all new and exciting for us too, and we learned so much from you and all of the information and that you send in to us. We love and we look at, and we would love to for our listeners and our viewers to send us notes and tell us what they like about our episodes and what they'd like to see.
And please, always when you're listening to us, please subscribe and please give us a 5-star review. When you have a special episode that you love, please log on and give us that review. It means everything to us. We love you. We'll talk to you soon. You want to say goodbye,
We
Mary?
will. It's great to be back, and I missed you, Cathy, and I missed our listeners and viewers, and talking to all the new and exciting people that we get to interview. What a privilege.
So join us on Late Boomers next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on Late Boomers, the podcast that is your guide to creating a third act with style, power, and impact. Please visit our website and get in touch with us at lateboomers.biz. If you would like to listen to or download other episodes of Late Boomers, go to ewnpodcastnetwork.com.
This podcast is also available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and most other major podcast sites. We hope you make use of the wisdom you've gained here and that you enjoy a successful third act with your own style, power, and impact.